Myself, Milan Patel, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today's topic is Leveling Survey. In today's lecture, we will cover various terms used in leveling and benchmark and its types. Let's start with various terms used in leveling. Suppose this is the Earth's surface. Exactly parallel surface is called as level surface. A surface which is parallel to the mean spheroidal surface of the Earth is called as level surface. Level line. A line on level surface is called as level line. Horizontal plane. A plane tangential to the level surface at any point is known as horizontal plane. Horizontal line. It is a line lying on horizontal plane, or it is a straight line tangential to the level line is called as horizontal line. Next is vertical plane. A plane which is passing through the vertical line is known as vertical plane. Vertical line. It is a line perpendicular to the level surface and lies along the plumb line through that point is called as vertical line. Next is mean sea level and datum surface. This is the mean sea level, as you can see in this figure. It is an average height of the sea for all stages of tides. It is derived by averaging the hourly tide heights over the long period of 19 years. Okay, this is called as mean sea level. Datum surface. It is the level surface. Level surface means exactly parallel surface to the spherical surface of the Earth. It is the level surface whose elevation is known or assumed. Here in mean sea level, the elevation of mean sea level is known. So it is called as datum surface. Suppose this is the point on the level surface. If we take the vertical distance of this point from the datum, the vertical distance is called as elevation. It is also called as reduced level. Okay, RL. The vertical distance of the point above or below the datum surface is known as reduced level of that point. And the last is benchmark. It is the fixed point having non-RL above datum. A point whose RL is known, it can be used as a benchmark. So this point, if the RL of this point is known, it can be used as our benchmark. Okay, these are the various terms used in leveling. There are also other terms of leveling like station. It is the point where the staff is held and not the level is set up. Okay, it is called as station point. On the station point, leveling staff is kept for the purpose of determining its elevation. Suppose these are uneven grounds. These are the various points. Suppose if we are going to do survey of 0 meter to 50 meter, okay, we have marked these points as 0 meter, 10 meter, 20 meter, 30 meter, 40 meter and 50 meter. Okay, these are the points A, B, C and D, E and F. Okay, on this point we are holding our leveling staff, so it is called as station points. Here A, B, C, D, E and F are the station points. Okay. Next is backside. For understanding backside, first of all, we have to understand this is a mean sea level. What is mean sea level? This is an average height of sea. What is datum? We have just discussed before this topic. Okay, it is the level surface whose elevation is known. It is called as datum. Okay, so this is our reference plane. Okay, this is the benchmark. This is the RL of benchmark. The vertical distance from datum to this point is called as RL. So this is called as RL of benchmark. This is our setup or leveling instrument. So what is backside? This is the first staff reading taken after setting up the instrument and always taken on the point of non-RL or on the benchmark or on the changing point whose RL is known. Okay, this BS is used to determine the height of the instrument HI. Okay, so what is BS? BS is like this. This is the first staff reading taken after the setting of the instrument. This distance is called as BS. Okay. What is HI? HI is the summation of non-RL plus backside. Okay. Here non-RL is RL of benchmark. If we add RL of benchmark with backside, we can find out the HI. Okay. So backside is generally used to find out HI. Next is foresight. It is the last step reading of any setup. Okay. It indicates the shifting of the level. Here the range of this setup, first setup, is about C. After point C, this setup cannot be used. The reading at C is the last step reading. So it is called as FS. It is used to determine the elevation of staff station. Okay. This is the RL of C. Okay. It is calculated by HI minus FS. Okay. You can clearly see in this figure how RL of C can be found out. This RL of C can be used to find out next HI of the setup. Okay. Next is intermediate side. It is an intermediate staff reading between BS and FS in the same setup of the instrument. It is used to determine the elevation of intermediate staff stations. Here, intermediate staff stations are A and B. So, the readings taken at A and B are the intermediate staff site or IS. The RL of intermediate station can be found out by HI minus IS, like this. RL of A is equal to HI minus IS, RL of B is equal to HI minus IS of B. Okay, this is how we can calculate the RL of different points A, B, and C. For finding out the RL of D, E, and F, we have to move this instrument to the next slide. Okay. So, what is changing point? After changing or after shifting the instrument, we have to take first reading at the last step reading, okay, which is at C. So C is having two readings. For first setup, it is FS, and for second setup, it is BS. So what is changing point? It is the point which indicates the shifting of the instrument. At changing point, two step readings are taken. Before shifting, it is FS, and after shifting, it is BS. So it is called as changing point. Next is height of instrument, HI. When the leveling instrument is properly leveled, the RL of line of sight of the telescope is called as height of instrument. Here you can clearly see height of instrument for the first setup. Okay, is exactly the RL of line of sight of the telescope. Okay, in second setup, this is how we can find out HI. Is the RL of changing point plus BS of second setup. Okay. So when staff is held on benchmark, HI can be found out by RL of benchmark plus BS. When the staff is held on changing point like this, HI can be found out by RL of changing point plus BS. Okay. Next, the last staff reading, which is at F, is called as FS. The intermediate staff reading between BS and FS is called as IS. Okay. And we can calculate RL by deducting the staff reading from HI like this. Okay. This is how we can calculate RL of different points on the surface of the earth. That's all about leveling terms. Now let's move to the second topic of today's lecture, which is benchmark and its types. So first question comes in your mind is, what is benchmark? Okay, it is the fixed point on the surface of the earth whose RL is known from the fixed datum surface. We have just discussed this term in the leveling terms. Okay, there are various types of benchmark. Okay, first is GTS benchmark. The full form of GTS is Great Triangulation Survey Benchmark. These benchmarks are established by Survey of India Department at an interval of about 100 kilometers all over the country. The values of reduced level and relevant positions and the number of benchmarks are given in the catalog published by Survey of India Department. This is called as GTS benchmark. These are the primary benchmarks which are used as the first reference points for leveling. Next type of benchmark is permanent type of benchmark. Okay, you can see the number of permanent type of benchmarks in this figure. These are the fixed points or markings established by the Survey of India Department or other government agencies such as PWD Department, like Public Works Department, Railway Department, Irrigation Department, etc. These points are determined with reference to GTS benchmarks. Okay, so permanent type of benchmark is established with the help of GTS benchmark. Okay, these are the secondary benchmark points after GTS benchmarks. These are kept on permanent points like isolated rocks, culverts, kilometer stones, railway platforms, and gate pillars. That's all about permanent benchmark. Third type is temporary type of benchmark. When benchmarks are established temporarily at the end of day's work and from where leveling is continued next day, in the absence of permanent benchmark or arbitrary benchmark, it is called as temporary benchmark. Okay? Their elevations are referred to as the reduced levels. They are generally made on the root of tree, at a fixed stone, or furlong or kilometer stone, etc. These are the various temporary benchmarks. Okay? These are used when the leveling is carried out for long distance, like hundreds of kilometers. Okay? And hundreds of kilometers cannot be surveyed in single day. So we have to prepare, we have to establish number of temporary benchmark after day's work or starting the work at next day. Okay, this is all about temporary benchmark. And the last is arbitrary type of benchmark. When RL of some fixed points are arbitrarily assumed as 100 meter above MSN, mean sea level, they are called as arbitrary benchmark. Is simply termed as assumed benchmark. They are adopted in small survey operations when only undulation of the ground surface is required to be determined. It is not related with the actual MSL. Okay? Their elevations do not refer to any fixed datum, as in the case of GTS benchmark or permanent benchmark. Okay? We have to assume one point as our benchmark and assume its reduced level as 100 meter or 50 meter. Okay? So this is called as arbitrary benchmark. That's all about various types of benchmark. That's all about today's lecture. I hope you understand various terms used in leveling like level surface, mean sea level, datum, reduced level, benchmark, etc. And various types of benchmark like GTS benchmark, permanent benchmark, temporary benchmark, and arbitrary benchmark. See you soon in the next lecture.